All right, here's a problem set. We're back. So let's read through this and then just kind of take this apart. It's kind of like solving puzzles here, and I'll help guide you through. So let's get started here with Ursula. All right. Ursula solved the following division problem by drawing an area model. All right, you see that? What division problem did she solve? Remember how to do this? Well, let's take a look. So basically what she did here is she split things up into smaller groups of numbers. So what I need to do to figure out my dividend, all my numbers, is what's in the middle here. I need to add this 400 plus 400 plus 80 plus 12. And a lot of this is mental math. So 400 plus 400 is 800. Plus 80 would be 880 plus 12. What'd you come up with? That's right. It would be 892. And we divided all that into what? What's my divisor? Which one of these outside numbers is my divisor? Do you remember? That's right. It's this number over here. It's always my rows. This goes this way. It's divided by 4. And then my quotient, my answer, is the numbers up here added up together, okay? So 100, 223. So it's 223. Cool, right? Yeah, so what we're going to do down here is kind of show that with a number bond, how it was done. So what we do with the number bond is we start at the top here and make this little circle. And I'm going to write in my divisor, or my dividend, which is 892. And it looks like they divided this into 4 groups here, 4 divisible groups into that were by 4, okay? What they chose to do was 400, 480, and 12. So they did this. 400, 400, 80, and get that guy out there, 12. Okay. This is interesting. So I think the reason why they chose 400 is because 400 divided by 4 is an even 100, right? So 400 and 400 is that 800 right there. Then they chose 80 because 80 divided by 4 is 20. I can do that quickly in my head. And then that remaining 12 divided by 4 is 3. I think that's why they did it. So this is how we do underneath here. I don't know if you remember doing this, but we do 400 divided by 4 equals 100. Actually, don't write that there. And then over here I do 400 divided by 4. This is 80 divided by 4. This is 12 divided by 4. Then we write our numbers down underneath. 400 divided by 4 is 100. 400 divided by 4 is another 100. And we're adding those up. 80 divided by 4 is 20. And then 12 divided by 4 is 3. I bring all those together, and it gives me 223. All right, this may seem like a lot, but you know what? I think we can do this. I think we can do it together, that's for sure. All right? Just so we can understand how do we break apart numbers to make them easier for us to divide, all right? Because I certainly don't expect you to memorize your 400s, you know what I mean? So, all right, let's give this a shot. Down here. Okay, so I got solve 960 divided by 4 using the area model. There is no remainder in this problem. Good, that's nice to know, right? So it has my area model up here, then down here it tells me to do a number bond, okay? So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a number bond down here, area model up here. So for the area model, let's do this first. I'm gonna make a nice rectangle here. Right? See how they made this here? They started off at the top. They started off with one rectangle, then added on to it. So I've got 960. All right. So I'm going to take a look at that 960 and what could I break it down to give me even numbers so that 4 can easily divide into. All right. So what are you thinking here? I'm thinking, have a class discussion here, kids, teachers, if you want, you can pause. But I'm thinking if I put in 800 here, right? And then I'm left with 160. I think that would work. Because what is 800 divided by 4? I could do this. 800 divided 8 divided by 4 is 2. So 800 divided by 4 is 200. See how that works? And then here is, what's 16 divided by 4? That's 4. 16 tens divided by 4 is 40. Yeah. So over here, this ends up being 960 divided by 4 equals 240. All right, so let's show this in the number bond. I typically like to do the number bonds first, and we'll do that in the next one, I guess, okay? So if I see 960, I wonder if this is all ringing a bell from you. You remember when we did this with 2-digit numbers? Now we're working with 3-digit numbers, and the back's gonna be 4-digit numbers. So what we did is we split this into an 800 and 160. And why did we choose those? Because we know that 800 and 160 are both divisible by 4, okay? Because I know 8 is divisible by 4, so 800 is divisible by 4. I know 16 is divisible by 4, so 160 is divisible by 4. So 800 divided by 4 is equal to 200. I'm going to add that to this side, which is 160 divided by 4. And that's equal to 40. Combine those together, I get my answer of 240. All right? All right, let's take a look at the next one. On the back of this paper, okay? Here. All right, so draw an area model to solve 774 divided by 3. Draw a number bond to represent this problem. Record your work using the long division algorithm. Okay, so here's how my brain works. I'm gonna jump to the number bond first, okay? Let's do that. Let's put a number bond up here, and then let's have a class discussion about 774 and the numbers we can break that down into that are going to give me numbers divisible by 3, okay? So teachers, you can pause here and come up with a solution on your own, or keep playing and go from there, all right? So you can pause now. All right, so if you're back, this is what I came up with my own sitting in here in my dining room trying to do this on last night, is I'm thinking that I want to make a 600. And why do you say 600? I'm thinking I want a 600 is because I know that 6 divided by 3 is 2. So 600 divided by 3 is going to be 200, right? So there's my 600. So what am I left over with? What I'm left over with is 174. So I'm left over with 174. So what's going to give me, how can I take 174 and split that into pieces? So I have 174, I'm going to split that into, watch this, 150 and 24. Now this took some thinking. It wasn't something I just didn't come up with on my own. It took a while to think about that. I took 774 and I split it into 3 numbers here, 600, 150, and 24. And why did I choose those? Because I know 6 divided by 3 is 2, 15 divided by 3 is 5, and 24 divided by 3 is 8. So if I have 600 divided by 3, that's going to give me 200. If I have 150 divided by 3, it's going to give me, see if I do 15 divided by 5, but it's 100, bring that 0, 50. Then if I have 24 divided by 3, well, that's equal to 8. Now I crunch those all together, and what am I going to get? That's right, I'm going to get 258 as my answer, okay? Cool. Now I'm going to come back up here and show this as the area model. I think it's just easier to show it this way, for me anyways, before I do the area model. So I'm going to have 3 rectangles. The front one's going to be biggest, a little bit smaller from there. So I got a big rectangle, I got a medium-sized rectangle, and then I got a small rectangle, okay? So this is 24, this is 150, and this is 600, right? All divided by 4. And I found out my answers were here, right? When I divided those, 150 be 50, 24 is 3, or 8, I'm sorry. There. Oh, it's not 8, 24 divided, yeah, it is 8, okay, good. And that's not 4. Sorry, that was 3. Getting ahead of myself. Apologize. Good. All right, and then finally down here is record our work using the long division algorithm. Let's do it. 774, and this is the easiest way by far, kids, okay? All these different ways I'm showing you are just different ways to think about numbers. It's a puzzle. These are puzzles. Here, figuring out the answer, do it this way. Do it the long division way. You're gonna have much more success, and it's not gonna cause you any anxiety. Divide it by 3, so let's check it out. See if we come up with 258. 3 fits into 7 2 times. 2 times 3 is 6. Subtract, I get 1. There's my 2 so far. I'll bring down the 7. 3 fits into 17. How many times? Yeah, it fits into it. Let's see here. 5 times, right? Yeah. 5 times 3 is 15. I subtract, I get 2. Okay. Then I've got 4. Let me bring down this 4 here. 24. Hey, that looks familiar, right? Over here. See that? 3 goes into 24 8 times. Okay. 8 times 3 is 24. I end up with 0. There it is, 258. That's neat. All right, so see how that works out? Cool. So I have this crazy idea. What we're gonna do is we're gonna work backwards on the next one the whole way through, just to have fun at the end here, okay? All right, so record your work using the long division. So I got this area model. I gotta do the number bond, and then I'm gonna do this here. So let's work this whole thing backwards, okay? And see what we end up with. Okay, so let's do 1,584 divided by 2. Okay, so I'm cutting that in half. I know it's gonna work because 4 is an even number, dividing it by 2. So 2 goes into 15 twice. 2 goes into 15, not twice. 7 times. There. So 7 times 2 is 14. I subtract, I get 1. All right. Cool. Now, see this 14? That really stands for 1400. That's going to help me over here. And I bring down my 8. 2 goes into 18 9 times. 9 times 2 is 18. All right. I subtract that, I get 0. Then I bring down my 4. Good, so this is really 100, this is 18 tens, it's really 180. And then 2 goes into 4, 2 times. 2 times 2 is 4, subtract, I get 0. All right, so now what I want to do is kind of work backwards on this, okay? Cutting this in half, 1,584, I get 792. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go over here and do my number bond first. So my number bond is my whole dividend, which is 1,584. Okay? Good. So you see how I went through, I have 3 numbers here? Well, I'm going to split this up into 3 pieces. And we'll talk about what those pieces are in just a moment. Okay? And make sure you leave these like long, big spaces here, okay? So the first piece I'm going to split them up to, and I want to show you this, is right here. It's 14. But I want you to recognize where those numbers are. This is in the thousands place, this is in the hundreds place. So you see this right here? That's really just 2 zeros. So that's going to be my first number. It's going to be 1,400. Okay? Then the next number I'm going to put here is these 2 numbers right here. That 1 is in the hundreds place and the 8's in the tens place. So I know this last number here, that'd be a 0. So 180 is going to go here. It's pretty neat, huh? And then finally, my 4. It's in the ones place, it's a 4. Just like that. So those are the 3 numbers I split them up to, okay? Just seeing it, I'm just trying to show you how this all connects. Now, I'm just going to do my division. So I have 1,400 divided by 2, right? So 14 divided by 2 is 7. Add those 2 zeros in the end, 700. There's my 700. 180 divided by 2. Okay, that's going to give me 90, right? There's my 90. And then 4 divided by 2. That's going to give me 2. There's my 2, 792. Bring those together, There it is. Now to finish up, I'm just going to do my area model here, okay? So, 3 rectangles, one big, one medium, one small. I'm gonna put in my numbers, 1400, 180, and 4. Then, I'm gonna divide it all by 2. This is what over here. And my answer's 792. 792. All right, well that's that. That's how it all goes together. Again, I won't be testing you on any of this stuff here, but long division, yes, but this stuff over here is just different ways to think about numbers. All right, and as teachers, we want you to open your minds. We want you to see numbers in different ways. We want you to understand that you can manipulate the numbers in any way you need to help you solve problems, okay? So, great job during this module. Tomorrow we're gonna have a short quiz, and then we're gonna jump right into our next module. All right, we're super proud of you guys as always. We will see you tomorrow.